There have definitely been many mysterious members inside the Time Project community, and that group is definitely including of the user xEv1lD4rkM, the original Time Project mystery. This video was inspired by Leostickluke, and his message pretty much inspired me to take an interest and deep dive into the history of this man. Now let's just say he is one of the worst Time Project AFKers of all time. And when I mean worst, I don't mean he did anything wrong, he just really sucked at AFKing. The premise of the whole game is to AFK as long as possible, and he was the second closest person to reaching the main milestone in the game, but he absolutely failed. His first appearance was around the 15th brick, and it was a video of him with around 1,000 time, so we can assume that he was AFKing around the night before. He's immediately seen in his most infamous spot, him doing the E-Dance 2 on the right side of the building in the grass. He runs over for the brick, but what is shown off camera is him doing his first ever glitch. He does a corner clip through the brick, and this is one of his most important and notable antics that he does. He was very quickly assumed as a non-talker, which he was actually the first of his kind, being the predecessor to Stuff 727. I would literally have to beg him to talk, but all he would do was send emojis. When I originally made the Time Project Museum, I had seen him with around 70,000 time, because that's what I last saw him at. But researching for this video, I was way wrong. One of the last sightings I saw him at was during the Stuff 100k, but obviously this was incredibly wrong. Even Stuff would take over his spot and dance in the grass for him. And people are even trying to be like him and dance where he would dance. Mr. Bling Bling would be one of the last people to actually mention him before the final brick by dressing up as him. His impact was pretty remarkable for the community, I guess. And the last normal brick sighting of him would be on day 166. But after scrolling through all of Hey8's videos, I realized that Evil was actually there for the final brick, so we got to see his final time in the game. He was even in the stage for the Discord server. Fast forward to after the brick, when time was paused, 86,888 would be his final time inside the game. Unfortunately, I was looking at the server list, so we would never see him leave the game for the final time. But he would become the second closest to 100k, besides 3_heads. Obviously, there was another game after, but we can use the Roblox API to check if he owns a badge, and he wasn't there for the first brick. This was speculated to be his retirement from the AFK community. Though xEv1lD4rkM wasn't there, and we didn't catch him on video, he did have 205 time on the leaderboard. And we could see on December 4th that he actually did witness a brick. But unfortunately, corner clipping was patched, and xEv1lD4rkM can no longer do his favorite pastime and corner clip through a wall. A while later, an 8,000 minute checkup was made of him, but there was still no sight of him in game anywhere. He would literally lose a minute 6 months later, but I don't know how. He probably joined the game after a while and it took his minute away. I don't know, but he would lose a minute. And another year later, we could see that he joined for a few more minutes, and that would actually be the last time we would ever see of him. xEv1lD4rkM never joined for the final brick using the Roblox API. We could check again. He wasn't there for the last brick, and we would definitely know if he was there for Diner of Time, but so far he hasn't joined yet. He doesn't have any of the badges, and this is actually the end of the video, the end of the history of xEv1lD4rkM. Let it be known, though, that he is definitely not forgotten. Many people know him for his dancing and glitching and his not talking. He had a whole 5 messages in the Discord server, all of which being random emojis. Now, if you notice how long this video is, you'll recognize that the Time Project history video will take up a lot of time. So be ready for that in the coming months, or probably years. Now, I did get in contact with him after this video. I asked him, do you remember me from the Time Project games, you know, Castle of Time? He said he actually did come out and say that he didn't want to speak because his English wasn't that good, and he didn't want to make a fool out of himself. I asked him he should come back, and I told him about Diner of Time. He said maybe. So that's the last we heard of him. Maybe he'll return, but so far we haven't seen him. He hasn't joined for a break. But yeah, that's the end of the history of Evil Darkman, one of the most mysterious people in all of the Time Project. Thank you for watching, and be ready for my next video. It's gonna be awesome.